Hello Capricorn, I'm Ulrich, a Lenormand card reader, and now we will do the Lenormand card reading for the month of August 2021. On the table here, you see 9 cards we will be using for this reading. You can also see 4 objects here on the table, meaning we will do 4 card readings for each astrological sign. And this video here is for Capricorn for the month of August 2021. From these 4 objects, you choose one or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality or the one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your current situation. Of course, you can watch all 4 videos of the Capricorn sign, and you're welcome to do so. And after you watched all 4 videos, you can then decide what symbol or object is fitting the best your personal card reading for this month. So here we go, Capricorn, for your reading for this month. Hello, Capricorn. And we start this time with the fire group or the matches group. As you can see here, the first card is the key. The key brings solution. It means yes. It means solutions are offered. The key is a general yes. And the end here is the end card here we see here is the book. The book can mean a study, a secret, some information that is coming to us, but the information will be more substantial because the book is a more heavy information that is coming to us in this way. So here we start in the first line. We see the key and the child. So this combination means actually innocence, or that we are a little bit vulnerable for the moment. It can also mean that a child is very important in our life. The child can also be very gifted. Children are also close to you because, as you can see here, they're close to the person card, which can represent a man or a woman, because as I told in earlier readings, this is neutral. So the child can be close to you. Also, like you yourself, you can feel more secure because your child is there. Your child is with you. You feel more secure. It can also mean, in another way, that you will open up for something new. Something new is about to begin for you. Maybe in the territory that you are going, you're unfamiliar, you're new with it. So it might be a little bit difficult. Maybe you need to build a certain structure for getting in this new initiative, but eventually it will happen because the key gives you the possibility to open this new beginning. Then here we see the tower, the whip, and the anchor. So the tower is the card of our course of life. It can mean this combination that we are trying to defend ourselves against somebody in an authority position. It can mean you yourself that you're on the authority position and you defend yourself against it. But anyway, this means that there is a defense against authority. It's like you want to distance yourself from aggression. You create a distance. In some cases also it can mean that some people want to abuse their authority towards us. And I'm thinking here for this, you're not emotional about it. Even if another person would treat you harsh, you would stay very cool in the whole thing. You will not show any emotions. You will stay very cool about it. Then here, this can also sometimes this can also be the card of negotiations. It's possible, if this relates to your job, there's a lot of professional conversations going on. There's negotiations, business meetings that are very hard, long-term discussions about communication with authority that is very, very tiring. It takes a lot of efforts, and it's like it's taking a long time, because the anchor is a slow card. It's like a heavy duty job. Sometimes also people around you, maybe authority, they dispute with you, they argue with you, they bring conflicts to you. Like there's a constant conflict, and this process is taking a long time for getting over it. Then in the third line, we see here the birds, the letter, and the book. This can mean that you are receiving some documents, but the document is quite substantial, because, as I mentioned earlier, the book is a substantial document. So this is like almost like you receiving a degree. It's like you receive something that you have put a lot of energy in, a lot of mental energy, and it's like the document now is coming to you. It's also possible that this, I don't know, in some way it stresses you. It stresses you in a way, even though the document is substantial. It's like there is a worrying about it, a worrying about it. Maybe a lot of communication is going on here, and you're thinking about this whole communication, but it's difficult for you to express this. What can also be possible is that during these negotiations that we saw here earlier, that because the book is secrets, some documents come in your hand and they actually reveal something that you didn't know. That is possible also. And maybe if this document comes in your hand, you will use it in the negotiations and you will speak the truth about it. That is what it means also. Also, if this involves to communication, eventually it will work all out, the whole thing, because you have a lot of information, but this because you have your degree here and you have the document, but the added information actually helps you. It helps you, and when you will discover this thing that is kept secret for you, you will keep on digging, because you will think that it's like there is more to it. What is hidden for me? What did they keep more for you? Maybe it's here connected to the negotiations, and during these negotiations something pops up and you want to get to the truth of the things. You don't stop anymore, you keep on talking because you want to know what is actually going on here, for getting a clear picture over the whole thing, because in a way it makes you stressed, it causes you pain. What you get to know here. Then here we have the key, the tower, and the birds. The key is solutions, yes. So it means that your contact with the government or with authority, because these are higher authorities. It can be the cause of life. So it means literally that the authorities will open up for you by means of communication. So you will talk to them a lot. Maybe sometimes the talking is very structural. You talk in a structural way to them, but they will need to open up because the tower is structure. So maybe also you push them in a way to see what the borders are, because sometimes the whip can be quite intense. So you want to know what is going on, as I said before, and you talk to these authorities or these people that are in charge for getting to the bottom of the case. It can also, if things don't work out, it can cause you also stress. It can cause you stress because it's like you cannot get to the bottom of the thing. Like you don't know what is going on. And you want to know what is going on because of the book. You want to know it. And I think by the end of these negotiations or by the end of the month, it will actually become clear to you what is hidden for now. Then here we have the child, the whip, and the letter. If you have a child, it might be that that this child is in some kind of pain, suffering, or you receive a document or a note. I would almost say like a fine, because the document is more official. It's like you receive, the child is in pain or the child caused pain, and you receive notice from that. So the message is coming to you from this child that is in hurt, and it comes to you. This message comes to you. It's coming to you directly. Maybe also some news in that document you are surprised about, but because you didn't know this was going on. You didn't know that was going on with the child. It comes to you as a surprise. Let me say it like that. Then we have the third line. We have the woman here, the anchor, and the book. So if this represents you as a person, then you are a very stable person. Also, probably you have you are well educated. Your education is quite traditional. You are stable. You are somebody they can count on. Also, the knowledge that you have, it's valuable. It's anchored. It's anchored. This is what it means. So you're a very stable person also for the child, and maybe that's why here for you it brings you some upheaval. Why you receive this this document of the child that causes you pain, or that causes her pain. For the third line here also, this is a person who relies, because the anchor is relying on the knowledge that she has. She's very reliable herself, and she also knows on security, on things that she wants. She's literally connected to her knowledge, to what she knows, what she learned. She's literally depending on it. Maybe sometimes she's even literally chained to it. And also probably the work is very close related to the study that she did. It's like it's very close to it, to what we learned. It can also mean that we continue to learn all of our life, that we keep informing ourselves for learning more as we proceed, as we go on. So it's like we don't stop learning. And maybe here, this learning, maybe you already have a degree, but here it's like there's an additional degree coming in. So that's what I'm thinking here. So you already have established some form of knowledge, but it's like you added to the knowledge. And maybe because it has taken some time before the confirmation came from the authorities, it has caused you some stress. But as I said, this is a lifelong learning process here going on. If I come back here to the child, it's also possible if, because we are surprised about the news that we receive of the child, that we give a punishment to the child, because here the whip is punishment. So maybe you're surprised about that this happened to your child, this whole situation, and it's possible also that you punish the child in question. That is also possible here because the whip is punishment. Maybe it's not a physical punishment, but maybe it's more like, because it's the letter, I think maybe the punishment is more structural. The punishment has more to do with the message itself. So I don't think that the punishment is physical here. It's more like a different kind of punishment. It's more like a smart punishment. But I think here you will in some way, because of this situation, punish the child. Then we come here on the cross. We have the whip, the key, the whip, and the book. So it can also mean that because of a certain situation that is going on, there's a lot of arguing, there's a lot of talking, arguing, maybe about a conflict that is going on, and it will be maybe for both of you, the persons involved, a life-changing experience for you. Nobody expected this to happen, so it's an important life lesson. The conversations about it probably will end up very clear. After the fingers are pointed, everything will be cleared out, and it will be clear for all situations exactly what is going on after the necessarily pain is experienced. This combination also means the whip and the book. It can mean hot housing. So if your child would be suspended from school for some reason, this is hot housing. So it means that a possible punishment for the child is that you devote yourself to the child and you teach her in a very strict manner the problems that need to be taken on. So it's like you go into the field where is the problem, and you teach them yourself. if this is related. There is like it's like you impose, like I always would say, like a military structure, maybe as a punishment for giving the person insight, or maybe you get the insight yourself. Of course, you will meet some objections, and it will not always be. The parties will not always agree, and they want to get out, but you will imply here maybe also for the child in question. Maybe there are also regrets, and maybe because you are more strict to them now, it's like there's some crying involved. There's some crying involved, because for them it's also new that you are so strict to them, that you apply this kind of that you imply this kind of environment for her, this kind of strictness for them. So for them it's new, maybe some changes here. It's uncomfortable for both of you, but maybe you find this the best way for doing so, because if there's a suspension from school, there's no other way than educating yourself, or another possibility would be that you hire a private educator, but I'm thinking here you will do it yourself. You will be the one to imply the knowledge, because you want that the child passes the year, so you will involve yourself. So there will be results by the end of the year. This is more on the long term, I know. It's not exactly on the short term, but if there is a suspension, you will focus yourself so that the child will punish. You have pain, they have pain, but you will engage with the whole process, so the degree is there, or the year can be passed. Also, if you are the person, the man of the woman here, you are suffering also, and this whole thing, it brings you stress. It brings you stress because in the change of the situation, you talk a lot, but also there's a lot of stress, and also here there is the whip R2, so it means there's repetition. So it's like you use a repetitive system for teaching the child, like the old-fashioned way, repetitive. So repetitive learning you apply on the child, or the person you need to educate here in question. What we see more here in the third line is that if this message comes to you, that certain things need to be implied regarding the document that you receive, you will not share this with the world. You will keep this because the book keeps it secret. So the letter that arrives regarding problems, you will not share this with the world. You will keep this secret. You will keep this in-house. It will not be shared with the world. There will be certain regulations implied. So there is no need for sharing this with the rest of the world or the rest of the community. You will stay very discreet about it. All parties will stay discreet about the whole procedure that is going on. That is what I see here also in the third line. So we summarize here. This is the key. There comes a solution, a structural solution for all communication and for all stress. So this is the first line. So there comes a solution for that. The second line is if there are arguments, these arguments are new. These arguments bring us in some form of punishment or another person in form of punishment, we will get news of this. We will receive the news of something. From some official instance, there will come news to us, because this is the official instance, this is news, and this is the child again. So something is coming to us from this news, the disturbing news that I said before. The positive news is, after all this hustle, I'm not saying it's by the end of the month, but it's possible. After all this hustle and the hardship you put yourself through and all parties involved, this will end to stability, because the anchor is stable. So the person who gives the education, or who's the one in charge, will bring stability. And as you can see here, as I said earlier, this is the actual document. So this is the document is coming to you. So if there is a problem with the child related to the education and you involve yourself in that, this will be the result. The result is the document coming to you. So your efforts will be rewarded. It will be a hard time maybe that is coming, but everything will be rewarded and everything will come stable again. And as we saw earlier, maybe this whole thing will be solved with discretion on the long run, and nobody needs to know, and everything will come back stable as it was before, after this period of, it's like the period we keep to ourselves, we keep ourselves locked up, and we involve ourselves to solve the situation and forgetting the end result here that we want. So, Capricorn fire group, this is all for this month. It's quite a heavy reading, this one, quite a lot of things going on here. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. Sometimes it's not all so easy in life. We already know that sometimes we have difficulties, but anyway, I enjoyed your card reading here. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and see you next time, and the best of luck. Thank you. Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to the Stone or the Earth group. We will start with the reading now for the Earth group. So the first card you see here is the stork. The stork is the bird of changes, migrating, transforming, new things that are initiating changes. The last card here is the tower. The tower is the cause of life, structure, limitations, borders, ambitions. This is what the tower represents. So there we go with the reading. So the stork and the man. So this points to a man. As we said, we will interpret the person card, man or woman, as neutral. So this is the person card. So you can take this as a woman also, because we do general reading. So anyway, this is about a person that is very flexible. He has a flexible mind, a flexible personality. Maybe it's difficult to settle his mind, to settle down. Maybe this person can change his mind many times. Maybe because it's a migrating bird also, maybe the person is you, or as a woman or a man. Maybe you, if it's involving you as a person, maybe you come from a different location and you migrated where you are now, because the stork is a migrating bird. If you did come from another place, the sun is here, so I'm supposing that you come from a warm country, because the sun brings warmth. It also means that this person, man or woman, has a warm personality. It could mean that this person is very popular in his environment, in the surroundings. He's very popular, very famous, very liked. Maybe he's liked because he's flexible to all people. So that is what this first line tells us. The person has a very strong attraction to him, because the sun attracts. So I'm assuming that people like to be around this person. We come here in the second line, and here we see the bouquet and the snake. The snake is a little bit a tricky card. It's a card where we need to be careful, but actually the bouquet, it breaks the spell of the snake. So, or it can break the spell of the snake. So it means that if this is a woman, if this is a woman that is involved with the gentleman, or reversed, if it's a man reversed involved with a woman, this could be like this person is very attractive. Even though the person don't want to be attractive and he's not doing it on purpose, there will be a lot of attraction to him, sexual attraction. People are attracted to this person. It's like something is like pulling, because here it's you can see here this is the collective, this is the group, this is everybody. So it's like the people are all attracted to this person. I would say there is some jealousy, but because the bouquet is here, it's not. But the person is very beautiful. Maybe the person is involved in arts. Also, like very charming. Also, I would say that because the snake can be sexual also, like the person is much liked, so, and maybe the person is sexually attractive also because she's so good looking. Also, she receives a lot of compliments because the bouquet is here. She receives a lot of compliments about her good looks. Maybe could say also she's a skilled lover. He or she is a very skilled lover. Also, she's very charming. She has good manners. She has etiquette. Also, this person, if she has reached a certain level in her life, she's proud of he or she is proud of her achievements. Also, this person likes to be the same as the man here. He likes to be in the center of the attention. She likes to be involved, or they like to be involved in social engagements. They adapt to their social environment. Also, this person do a lot of efforts when they come out. They make sure they are good looking. So this is what this is about. Also, maybe this person really desires for fame. He wants to be popular. In his environment. Also in public, this person can be very diplomatic. Maybe it will be very hard to get this person angry. The person will always reply with like a distinguished way, a diplomatic way. They will be open, but they still will be diplomatic. They will never engage in arguments in public because they are smart, they are wise, they know what they want to achieve. Also, this is ambition. If this person has, if you are a person with public ambitions, this is very good for public ambitions. You can really, because the snake is very focused. The snake can be very focused on a target. So, and if your target is getting fame from the public, this is a very good combination. So if this is your target that you want to reach for the coming months, this is a very good combination. So you will achieve your goal. You will achieve your goal with diplomacy, with distinction. You will see you look good. You will see you appear at the right time in the right way with a structure. You will be diplomatic, and people will like to be around you. They will like to be in your presence. Same as we saw here with the man in above. So if these two would be a couple, that would be a good couple, and else I would say the snake is a little bit tricky, but since the bouquet is here, I think not so. I think there is some form of structure and loyalty here present. Then we come here in the third line, we can see here the dog. We see the crossroads. So I think one of both parties is submissive to the other. It can be the man, it can be the woman. So one of the two is following, because the dog is following. So, and this person that follows has difficulties to make decisions. Maybe one of the two has difficulties to make a choice about loyalty. But still, they are a lot together. They are a lot together, but maybe there's a choice between friendship and becoming lovers. Maybe the behavior is a little bit, for some people, the behavior is not common, but it's done in a diplomatic way. It's done in a diplomatic way. So like the choice don't actually need to be made. There's some kind of diplomacy going on, and like it's like it says, help me for this decision, but I don't really know what I need to choose. It's like waiting for the decision, postponing the decision to take it regarding friendship, the relationship, maybe also other people get involved. What is the right choice to make? What is their opinion for actually making a decision? Maybe here, because sometimes this can represent a mentor or a teacher in some cases. Somebody we trust, we ask him, what do you think about? Because we ourselves have difficulties to decide ourselves. If there is eventually a choice made, maybe the choice is like more rational, a rational decision, a logical decision. Maybe the decision is alternative. Maybe it's like an alternative decision that we take for keeping our freedom and in a way be connected. We are hesitant to go in the whole procedure. Maybe we wait, we delay, maybe we take it slow because the tower is slow. Maybe we want to take it on the long run for seeing if it's really the right choice we need to take in partnership or if it needs to stay in friendship, because we don't actually want to take the decision that we make. We want to take the whole thing slowly. Then we come in the vertical lines. We see the stork, the bouquet, and the dog. This means that maybe due to circumstances, we have a transformation in our circle, social circle, but in a positive way, because the flowers are positive. So if our circle change, it's a positive effect. It's like a refreshing new start with a person. Also, we will alternate our appearance. As we saw here, this person likes to be pretty. We will alternate ourselves. Maybe we get a suntan like that. But not only a suntan, it's like we want to look good. We don't want to be alone. We appear in a lot of friends. And also, it can mean that somebody is come back out of our past. Somebody that we encountered before, maybe a friend. I'm assuming it's a friend that will come back in our life and that has been out of our life for a while. Maybe it's like a renewal of friendship. in a way, we are happy that this person is back because this is a happy card, and it's like we just give our friendship here another try. We will give another we give it another go, and also we are open to flirts. We are open to flirts from other people. Also, there's a strong attraction to things that are pretty, but and beautiful, but we already saw that here. Also, there's a strong appreciation because this is friend. There's a strong appreciation from our friends. We have fun with our friends. We don't want to be isolated anymore. We go in a group of friends. We have pleasure. Maybe also family members are involved, brothers, sisters. It's like a happy time, enjoyment. It's possible that you even bring the dog, because the dog can literally appear here. He literally appears. Everybody is involved in the social life, even the pets. Also, it can mean that we depend on the appreciation. We appreciate that we are admired by others. And it's also possible that there's a friend here or somebody who really likes you. He totally adores you. He totally adores you. And he's very happy, and you are very happy also about this adoration. Considering, of course, if everything stays in a healthy way, but normally this is a very good combination also for adoring a person, liking a person, good communication. We engage ourselves in collective group things. We are happy to be in the group. So this is what this first vertical line is about. Then we come in the second vertical line. We see the person card here, and here we see the snake. So this is normally a person that is very ambitious, very goal-oriented. Also, the person is eager, maybe thirsty for knowledge, very focused, motivated. Maybe also the person is a little bit calculated. He knows where he's going. This person knows where he's going, what he wants to do. He's looking at his goals. This person is, as we saw here, the diplomacy is already here. This person is very smart, diplomatic for reaching his goal. It's like the single-minded, very strong will for reaching the goals. One of the two partners will be a typical alpha type, like a man that people follow, an alpha type man or an alpha type of woman. So one of the persons is less submissive, as we saw here, and the other person is more like a followed person. So maybe this is what the decision is about. Maybe one of the two partners actually, because here we have the decision, need to make the decision going in coupling up or staying single. And the decision is like not easy to make for this person. What am I doing? Am I committing, or am I looking for a way out? Maybe sometimes also because there's some reflection, like the choice is complicated. We don't know very good what to do. We keep a little bit of our own for making the choice, because maybe we are scared that we lose our self-empowerment. We lose our self-decisions. Because you know where you want to go. So it's very hard to decide here. It's very hard to decide which way to go. It's like, am I going this way? And if I'm doing that, what are the consequences? Because the snake waits in the grass, makes the right decision. If I make this decision, these are the consequences. If I don't make the decision, that are the consequences. So it's like it's all over the place, like the decisions. But it doesn't mean there is no enjoyment, because there is a lot of enjoyment going on, but related to the partnership, I think that it's very difficult to decide. But eventually, I think the decision will come. And the decision might bring us into another direction. Also, what this means is, because the snake is a sensual card also, I want to mention this also, since there's a lot of beauty and a lot of mind focus, this can also relate to sexual attraction. So it's possible that also that this relationship is beautiful, but there's also a sexual component to it. It's like the relationship is consumed also. These two people have a relationship, but not only a mental relationship. I think there's also a sexual relationship. Like the relationship between the two persons is really consumed. They enjoy each other. They enjoy life. And they enjoy what is going on with their circle of life and their circle of friends. So then we come in the third vertical line. We see the sun, the garden, and the tower. So I would almost say there's an artistic component also to this whole laying. There's something artistic here. There's people involved. There's public appearance. There's something artistic about the whole thing. It's like we are celebrating something, or we are celebrated for something, some like an artistic achievement that we make, and we are celebrated because of it, and we feel confident about it. We are happy about it. We show ourselves, we show our happiness, we show we are as a person. We really, because the sun radiates, it's positive, so we really radiate. And here, this is public, we radiate in public. We are not shy. We don't hide us. Here is the tower, and the tower represents a certain structure. There are borders. It can mean, maybe if we come home in the evening, there's a feeling that we are not completely satisfied. Like there's an emptiness that we want to follow up, and maybe this emptiness has to do with the relationship that we saw earlier. Maybe some of our friends are aware that in the evening that we are feeling alone, but I think it's a selected group that is aware of that. It's like we believe we are better off that we are not alone in the house. We feel better in the group of people in the society. So this what this represents also. At some moments, maybe it can also represent that it's too much, because we have a very busy social agenda, and it can mean sometimes also we need some time off to shut us off, because there's a lot of going on here. We're always in the center of the attention. It can be that sometimes we feel the need for getting away from the public, because also it puts a lot of stress on us as a person. And it's like maybe sometimes at some moments we don't know anymore who we are, and we really need to be alone. So it's a little bit double, this third line here. Then we come in the first cross here. We have the stork, the snake, and the tower. Here again, it's like we have a high desire, a high drive for transformation. We want to change, but maybe the changes are not directly applied. It's like the changes come in a roundabout way, because the snake is going around in circles, as we know. Also, it can mean that you feel, if you are a woman that you're involved in this, if you are a woman, you feel very female. You feel very like a woman. It's like a bird of a woman. In another way, I would also say here, if you use no contraception, just be careful for pregnancy. Maybe it's not the right time for the pregnancy. If that is not your plan, just be careful for that you keep a certain structure so it doesn't come to this if that is not your plan for now. That is what I want to say here also, because maybe for the moment, your stars are very aligned for pregnancy, but if that is not, we are in control of ourselves. Maybe it's time, because the tower is control, maybe we need to control this. Maybe we need to have birth control, so we need to be diplomatic about that. Maybe it's not the right time for that. So if there is a lot of sexual intercourse involved, just see that you take the right precautions. I don't see directly a contract here, but if you are planning to make some contracts in any way, just be careful to check out the small print. Because it could have consequences. So just see, let somebody check, double check before you sign, because this also, it can be tricky for contracts. So just be careful for that if you are planning to sign a contract, an agreement or something, to do so. Also, I want to add is that the snake often is related to triangle relationships. Maybe one of the, because if both parties are very popular, you need to see that there, because I'm thinking here that there is another party involved, maybe from both sides. If you are not aware of this, the snake represents a third party. So you need to be aware that there is possibly somebody working behind the screens, that there is a secret lover, another person that is involved in the relationship. Maybe this other person, she keeps very strong control, because the snake is about control. She keeps very strong control over this person, depending if you're the man or the woman. So if there's a partner, another partner involved, this woman keeps like a very strict control over it. She's taking control. But actually, I think if this person is forced into commitment, or that he will not engage, because the actual action of this person is about keeping control. It's about keeping control, not about the actual relationship. So it's like this person wants to control the other person, but the but is not actually the relationship. But I think here, if I'm thinking here that this person is involved in a relationship, if there's a third party involved, I would almost say that this person has attachment problems. There's some attachment problems involved here. Maybe this person has difficulties to attach to another person. The snake is smart. Sometimes also it can mean, maybe with all these festivities, maybe also there is some, it's possible also that there is some alcohol involved. Maybe maybe there's some substances involved here. This is what it could mean also. Substances involved that that makes us dance longer, makes us happy longer. So it's possible also there that there is something here involved for having more fun, like a substance. This is possible also with this combination. Then we come to the snake and the tower. It could be with all this popularity engagement that we have here, that we also experience some problem. As we saw earlier in the other line, it's like sometimes we need like a place there where we need to be alone. Like sometimes we crave for like a moment of vacation, a day off, that we want to be alone. Maybe we want to be alone, but it's possible also that the partner is involved. And we like to be alone with our partner, the one we are most committed to. Difficulties, slow. This is also a lot of partying, maybe partying for not being alone also. Partying for not being alone, partying for not feeling alone. I know this applies to more the younger people, but that is what comes out here. If the other way is that if it's more on the mature side, this person is maturely confident. This person knows where he wants to go. If there is no substance involved, if there's nothing involved, this person know where to go. If I need to add something at that, then it's like a medication for staying awake, for getting the ambitions right. Some persons will refuse to sleep, and they take medication for refusing not to sleep. If that is more applying on a more mature context, if this is the case. But this is about ambition, changes, want to go where we want to go, knowing where to go, very focused. So this is where this is going. Then we saw here, we have the last line here, the last cross here. Here is also like, as I said earlier, there's the desire for a vacation. Maybe we want a vacation, but maybe we want to connect this vacation also to the public. But sometimes, as we saw, we be alone. But I always arrive in the same about this. Also, it means that we are, again, that we are very focused on our goal. This combination here, the snake and the dog, it can point, but we saw there's a lot of diplomacy. But maybe the third party involved, as we said earlier, this card combination, these two, is a frenemy. It's like a person who acts like a friend, but is in a way, it's also our enemy. It goes in a roundabout way. So there's some manipulation going on here. Also, it's like this person, I told you earlier that this person wants to be followed, but if you actually take the action for following the person, the person, he bogs out. So it's about, as we said earlier, it's about control. So we summarize. Here, this is beautiful combinations for changes that are going on, for beauty, for harmony, for friendships, for parties. This is very good. Then we have here the man, the snake, and the dog. So one of the two persons here is wanting to go a different path, a different road, but the decision is difficult to take. The decision is extended, maybe not possible to take the decision, maybe a third party involved, as we saw earlier. And here then, maybe it's time to take some time off, but then more in solitude, maybe more on your own. So that is what we see here with the last card. But overall, this is a a very positive laying, I think, for the Stone group. So, Capricorn Stone group, I hope you're happy with this reading. If you are, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for that. And see you maybe next time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Hello Capricorn, and welcome to the Aerosol or the air group. As you can see here, the first card we have here is the bear. The bear is the card of management, teaching, bosses. It can also represent the mother, educator. And the last card here is the book. This is the beginning and this is the end. And the book represents a study, a secret, something that is staying hidden. So starting here, we see there we have the bear and the mice. So it means if we are teaching, or we are in a management position, or we are in a leadership position, maybe for now our strength or our management capabilities are a little bit under scrutiny. It's like for the moment we have a problem with management, with teaching, because the mice, it's like a speed bump. It slows things. It's like it's not really working well. The management skills here we have for now. It's like something is wrong with it. Like our energy is a little bit eaten away for teaching, for managing. So it's like we have less energy. Also, it has an influence maybe on our stability, maybe our numbers. If we're in business, our numbers, because we have less energy, less management skills, it's possible that our stability is not so strong for now. Maybe because we have less sales, we feel less stability. This is what we see here in the upper line here. This can also mean, as I said, also that there are financial losses, or we have less financial income. In some cases also, it can mean that maybe that's the reason we feel a little bit under the weather. We don't feel so well for now. And that's why it causes us, like we have less urge to make big numbers, like we feel less motivated like that. If we are teaching also, maybe we feel less motivated to be teacher. If we are a parent also, it could influence our parenthood. Like we have a difficult time in raising our children. It's difficult for us to raise our children. That's what I'm saying here. It's like we have maybe less trust in our own abilities. We have not too much confidence. It's possible it's because we are under the weather, or maybe there's an influence of a parental figure that makes us like we feel less confident about our whole being. That is the possibilities here from the first line. Then in the second line here, we see the sun, the house, and the letter. So the sun is a very positive card. The card is, it's warm. It's yes, it brings radiation. It brings radiation to everything that is around it. It's positive on everything that is around it. So here we see that you have the house next to the sun. So it means everything that is related to your house maybe is going in a positive way. But we saw here it's more difficult here for the work. So maybe this whole situation is brightened up by the sun. It's not such a drama as you might think it might be. Maybe it's all positive, because I think here you might expecting some good news, because this is news and this is a house. So some news on your work front, or on the front of your immediate environment, or your colleagues, some news is coming to you, and this news is very positive. So I wouldn't worry too much about this. I think it's going to work out just fine, because of the sun is here. Maybe you feel very happy when you're at home now. You feel happy with your family, and this might be a way to recover maybe from the stress of your work. Maybe you calculate a day in with your family, you feel very stressed, and the day off with your family is doing you very well. It's like you revive, you recover, you feel the people around you give you, your children or your partner gives you back the stability, because you are the day together. It's like you are, before you feel a little bit like disconnected, but here now, with spending a day with them, you feel happy, you feel more secure about this whole being together. On the person, if this relates on a person, it could also mean that if there's a person involved, or a man or a woman, this could mean that it's like a person that is more conservative, more stable, more traditional. The roots, the place where you come from, is very rooted, very traditional. Also, it means that can be a lot of communication with the family. But the letter is a more substantial message. So I would say here, I would almost say there is an official document coming to you regarding a house. Because the letter, it's not a message, a written message. It's not like a simple message. It's more a complicated message. The message is more substantial. It can sometimes even the letter can mean valuables, a valuable message, like a deed or something like that. So these documents will come to your house. You will also, if this document arrives, you will study it very thorough. This is also what it means. And there will be a lot of communication here with relatives about a certain topic. Maybe it's about this document that will be arriving. Maybe because you're very stressed in the job here, related to your family, you set up rules, like you compartmentalize, you put in compartments, like there's a time for work and there's a time for family. So, and if the time is for family, you imply here the rules for your family. It's like you will not let your work interfere anymore with your family. You put some rules here for responsible and high quality family time. This is what this means also. Then the third line here, we see the crossroads, the stars, and the book. So the crossroads means that we are put in front. We are put in front of a decision. This decision, it can mean something that we dreamt of for a long time. It's maybe some path we want to pursue, and maybe this path leads to a certain education. We want to learn something. Maybe it's something we are already a very long time interested in, and finally we want to make a choice, or we are planning to make a choice for finally going into that area. Maybe the area where you're going, or where you want to go, or you want to study about, it's not common because the stars are not the traditional way. If I need to put a tradition on it, it could be like astronomy. That's a traditional study, or the study of the stars, as they say. Or even it could be that you are involved in an esoterical study. You might go in astrology, because it's astrology also. You choose something like that, or you choose to go like in card laying. This is what this means. Maybe you have the feeling that, or you are sure that you have some kind of sixth sense, and you think if you study that you can develop this sixth sense more deeply. But in a way, you're thinking if it's the right path. It's like you have a little bit of self-doubt here. You think, is this really the study I want to go for? It's a difficult choice because it's out of the ordinary. It's not something that everybody studies. So it's like you want to look for the truth. You want to look for a secret, but is this really what you want to do? Because now, maybe for the moment, you're involved in traditional professions, in professionals that give stability. And maybe if you choose this path, this stability becomes a little bit undermined. It becomes more, the situation becomes more uncertain. But actually, this means, these two cards here, that the choice is positive. It's a meaningful choice. It's actually a good choice, but it's a different path. It's not the path that everybody will choose for, because the path is alternative. So if you do some study, or you want to follow some education, and you think or you dream that for a long time, it might be the right path for you. And if you think it's the right choice for you, I would say just follow your dreams here. You can find some compromise here. Maybe this is why, maybe you're a little bit tired of all the traditions and you want to go another way. Maybe it takes some energy out of you and you feel that you need to develop another sense of you, another sense of your personality, like you need to go for it. And that's why maybe sometimes you feel less energy, like you feel, is this really for me for all of my life, or can I really choose the path? Of course, if we make choices, it comes with responsibilities, and these things are connected. So that is what I see here in the third line. Then we come here in the first vertical line. You can see the bear here, the sun, and the crossroads. So the bear is about, it's about management, it's about parenthood, it's about teaching. So in a way here, you have a lot of stress in your job, but actually your parenthood, you enjoy this, because the sun, it shines a light on your parenthood. So it's like you're enjoying your role as a parent. It gives you energy, you're optimistic about it. It's like you are a person, maybe it's a little bit related to here, you want to teach happiness. You want to teach people the happy side of life. And maybe this also applies on your children. Like you want to show them the nice sides of life. Maybe you're a serious person that is always in a certain structure, but maybe you want to give your children like the optimistical point of view. It's also possible if your children are in there with you, they really enjoy this with you, because this means no conflict. So your your children would see you, or the group that you are teaching would see you as a very positive person where they learn a lot from. So it's not like here they experience you as dominant. It's not. It's like they experience, and their personalities really grow by it. They grow by it. They get really educated in here. And also you see the crossroads here, like they don't actually have a feeling that they are hard studying, even maybe that the topic that you're educating may be hard or maybe heavy, but they don't actually have the feeling that is. It's more like they are happy, they are courageous to undergo this study, this education. It's like they feel free even if they learn. On a person, on your personal basis here, it can also mean that you enjoy your personal freedom. If we saw here already that you have a need on some days off here or several days off, and you will enjoy this time. And maybe because of this reflection that you have here, it will bring you on this path. Maybe it's time a little bit to think about alternative choices, maybe obvious choices. And also it will, maybe this period of reflection, of being alone, will bring you on, make you aware of the alternatives. Also, in a way, maybe because in your job there's a lot of management, it will make you more tolerant. It's like you feel more happy, and maybe in the workplace you need to be strict, but here then if you relax, it's like you feel more like tolerant, like you see the differences. It makes you more tolerant for engagement in your private life. You're not so strict. Your children don't experience you as so strict. They see you as a good parent. They're happy. You help them to make choices. So this is actually a very good combination here for parenthood. Then we saw here already there's a kind of stress going on, and maybe it's difficult sometimes for you to relax because of certain conditions going on, because the mice, they're moving around fast, and they're biting on your energy as a person, and sometimes it's stressing for you, and sometimes you have difficulties if you have only one day off to relax. So this tells you you need to try, and maybe several days, as we saw here, would be a better or a wiser choice, of course, if this is possible for you. If not, maybe if you don't take some days off, maybe it could have a negative influence on your day off. If you feel it coming, it becomes too much. Don't be too hard on yourself and take a few days off. You can always catch up the days later, or you can do some alternative, or you can take some days on your own account if that is allowed. But just see that it's not too much. Maybe you're in a situation that it's been a lot before. Here, the same again, we come here on the alternatives. Maybe in your parents and in your grandparents, if you feel you have to do an alternative study, I think it's already also related to that. I think several generations already, maybe your parents and your grandparents kept quiet about this, because there's a secret here. Your parents and your grandparents kept quiet about that, but I think there's some sixth sense here in the family. There's something going on here, and maybe that's why you have the feeling that you need to do that kind of study. Maybe in the night, sometimes also it's possible that you have clairvoyant feelings, like you feel something is coming here. What is also possible is that maybe you don't know, but or they never informed you about that, but one of your ancestors made predictions that were quite accurate. And mostly if it's not exploited by previous generations at a certain time, it comes back. So maybe this is the generation for you where it comes back. Maybe your family on the outside, it's very traditional, very ruled, very conservative, but that's why maybe it's difficult for you to make this decision. There's a certain path to be followed, certain rules to be followed in society, but for some of us, they need to make choices related to that. Maybe sometimes you actually have daydreams of that, and you wish for yourself, oh, I wish I actually engaged on it and I wouldn't think about anymore. I just would actually do it. So that is what this this combination means also. What this also means is that when you are at home, you're very happy. It makes you happy. You feel good. But as we know, we have responsibility, but the time at home is very much enjoyed. Because of the relaxation, sometimes there can be a connection here with the spiritual side of life. Then we come in the third line. We have the anchor, the letter, and the book. The anchor is about stability. It's like here, there's a document regarding stability. We already saw that here, that there are documents on its way. And this document here, in the end, this is actually a deed. These two documents, they represent a deed. So maybe there's a choice to be made regarding parents, regarding where we come from, regarding property. Maybe in this document that you receive, there is something that you didn't expect there to be. It's not negative, but you are surprised that this is included in the document. It surprises you, and actually it gives you more stability. So if there is a message coming from you, because this is a substantial message and this is the deed, this is actually money, it can mean bonds. So maybe something is involved there, and maybe I'm thinking about this, maybe this is a positive involvement, and you can maybe go, maybe there are alternatives because of this money or this financial document that is coming to you. Maybe there's opportunities and you would not lose your stability, because the anchor here is in the last row. So maybe there's an alternative if you want to do that study, an alternative that is offered to you, because here the anchor and the letter, it means literally money where we come from. It can be an inheritance. I don't know if you're maybe before, because I cannot see too far here, maybe before one of your parents or one of your relatives deceased, and this money is available now from relatives. Also, if these documents come, everything will go very smoothly. Maybe the documents, it's not that it's going to take a long time. It will go steady, and everything will go in a very steady way. And if there's money involved, it will be in a very smooth way. It will go in a very smooth way. In another way, I need to come back always on the education because it's here again. This is again about a study you want to achieve. With this study, you want to become more stable. And the book contains secret. It's something that is not familiar. It's like, if you want to do this education that you are long time dreaming from, you want it to be connected in some kind of certificate. You want a certificate. You want that you have proof that you actually done that education. Even if it's an alternative study, you want to have proof. You want to have the document here. The documents, you want them to have them in your hands. It might be an alternative study, but it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It might be a study, an alternative study that you need to do quite some efforts for. It's not because it's alternative, it's easy. You will need to focus, and it can also mean that it's like you want to become an expert like that. You want to become an expert in your field. You want to become an expert in that field that you want to do. And also what I'm thinking here, if you do actually do this study, you will not share that with everybody. If you actually get involved in the study, I don't think you will share this with your colleagues or with your friends. You will just keep it to yourself till it's the right time. And then at that right time, when you feel confident, you will actually go your way. You will actually take a step and actually come out when you have the document in your hand. You will, as long as the study is going on, I think it's going to take a while because it's the anchor, it's slow. If you choose for that study, it will take for a while. And if you actually have the document in your hands, I think then you will make it clear to everybody that you have actually done this study and you will come forward with it. That is what this third line is saying here. Then we go on the cross. We have the bear, the house, and the book. So the bear, it's like, this is like, these two cards is an investment in real estate. And we already saw that your house is very important for you. I think you come from a fairly stable background, and also the people around you, they care about you, or they still care about you. So this is actually, this here, these three cards is actually the sales of a house. So it's possible that you receive some money, maybe from your parents, from a sales of a house. Maybe it's a difficult decision to take for selling this house. Maybe your grandparents have also lived in that house, and maybe you need to take a decision about that because the house is more than its value. It's like from family tradition. It might be difficult for you to move on. Maybe you have some experience there, emotional experience that are connected to it, and for some reason it might be difficult to let go of the house. Maybe at the time you felt as a child, you felt very protected there, and now it's your turn for protecting the house. But as we saw, we will need to make some choices regarding that. It can also mean additional here that you were raised in quite strict environment. Maybe one of your parents was quite strict to you, but still the childhood was good, but there are rules and regulations, and maybe that's also what makes part of the difficulties if you want to study here at later age, or you want to go in another direction. If you would be in an older age already, because if you're raised in very strict rules and strict tradition, sometimes it's easy to pull yourself out of there, to get out of it. If we are not raised that way, sometimes the decision is hard to make. Here again, those two, I'm thinking here, there's a secret in the family. Like a lot of people here in your family might have intuitions already in your family. In some cases here also, we already saw the element of education there. In some cases also, it can mean that we are educating our children literally. Maybe you're tutoring your children at home, because this is also education at home. Maybe you're tutoring your children at home if they have some, if they cannot follow about certain topics. You don't want them to get behind, and you tutor them yourself. This is what it also can mean. This is actually homeschooling. Maybe also at the time when you are younger, your parents helped you also. So they educated you also at home. The whole family has like a tradition of that. It's important. The education is very important. And if the children are behind, it cannot be. So they need to be home educated. As I said, there are some strict rules here, strict family traditions that that need to be followed. Also, maybe there are some family secrets that are carried on, that is not talked about out of the family, but they are kept in the family. This is sometimes also secrets that are kept in the family. Also, it can mean that you feel very safe where you come from. That is what it can mean also, this combination. The bear, the house, and the book. Then we come in the other cross. We see the anchor here, the house, and the crossroads. If you come out of a more wealthy family, but not necessarily, it could also mean that that your family has a small boat. If you are come out of a wealthier group of people, it could mean that there is there is a small yacht in the family, or a yacht in the family. There's a boat here. It's possible also that there is a boat in the family, because the anchor, it's related to the ship. So it's possible that this is the house on the water. So it's possible that in your family there's an additional boat or something where you go on the water with. This is what this combination also means. Again, this is, the anchor is very stable home roots, very domestic rules, stable family. My home is my castle. Cling on to family rules, family traditions. It's the same again. You're planning your safety, and that's why maybe again it's difficult to go. We always come in the same routine for this month. Decisions need to be made. This combination, this is choice of residence. As we saw earlier, maybe it's difficult to part from the family home or family homes. And this is that you need to make a choice about it. You need to make a choice about it. You need to break the tradition of the family, or you need to sell the house. The family tradition is broke. And maybe you think, what kind of consequences is that gonna have on the family around you? Maybe you're a little bit scared for making this decision, because nobody ever made this decision. So this is what this means also. Maybe you are considering for living in an alternative place for a while. This is what it means also. Nobody in the family has ever done that. And maybe you consider here for living in an alternative place. Like it's a plan B that you're making. I think you hear these people from this group are very planned. It's like here, there's a plan B, and I'm thinking even there's a plan C, although I cannot immediately see it here, but I'm sure there is. Also, because you need to make that choice, it makes you feel ambivalent, like you have a double feeling. And actually you want to take low risk, but you don't know if it's sure to take a low risk. You are not sure if you can. If you're not married yet, I want to add this also. If you're not married yet and you're still single, because we need to get that picture also. If you're not yet married, it's like maybe here this is a marriage, like a chosen marriage. It's like the family need to approve that the partner will do well in the family traditions. There need to be an approval of the head of the family for saying, okay, this is it. It's a little bit against the rules now these days, because everybody does with this one, but I think here it's not. I think there need to be like a confirmation of the family member, maybe of the father, if you're not yet married, and the father need to give his literally his blessing for this marriage. Like he need to be sure that the bride of the groom is has the right potential for continuing with his daughter or his son. So this is what sometimes it says also. So Capricorn air group, we summarize. Maybe for now, there is some stress regarding our stability, but when we are at home, we feel very free to make our choices and to educate our children. We wish we were more at home, foregoing our own paths. If you are younger, I want to mention this also, and you still study, you might be put in front of a study that is not traditional. It's possible that the head of the family will have difficulties for approving that. That's what I also wanted to add here. If you are already mature, it will be difficult also, but if you are younger and you are placed in front of a decision for education, maybe you want to do something alternative. I want to add, as I added before, it's already playing a long time in the family, and it's maybe not talked about. So maybe you're the first in line to go that direction. So the second line here, the stress, feel happy at home. And here you see literally, if you relax, you see literally the stars. If you are relaxed at night, you get clear visions. You see things clearly if you can relax. And then here in the third line, as we can see here, this is the stability. Maybe some documents are coming to you towards the sales of a house. If not, and you already have a degree, maybe you are considering of taking a second degree and not applying the job or the things that you learned. Maybe you are unwilling, or you thinking about not following the family tradition, and maybe you want to do a second study that has an alternative. That is a possibility also. So Capricorn, for the air group, for the month of August 2021, this is all. I hope you enjoyed my card reading. If you did, please subscribe, and thank you for doing so, and see you maybe next time. Bye-bye now. Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to the water or the shell group, because that's the next reading we're gonna do. So the first card we see here is the mice. The mice represent speed bumps. Things are slowing down. Things are getting less. And here the last card we see the garden. The garden represents public life, things we do in public, our public life, everything that relates to groups or friends that we are appearing in. So here the first line, the horizontal line here, we see the mice and the tower. For the moment, if you're unemployed, we start there, and you live on an allowance, it's possible that this allowance or these advantages get less because the mice, they nibble on the tower. So if this is the government, so if there's a government allowance coming to you, maybe this government allowance or the benefits you get from the government get less. This we treat as a neutral card. So this can be a man or a woman. So because we apply for both genders. So if you have some benefits from the government, maybe these benefits get less. If you live on an allowance from somebody, from an authority figure who gives you money, it's possible that this allowance also get less. In another way, in a more personal way, it's also because this person has less means, it's possible that this person isolates himself because the tower is taking distance. The person is in the tower, and so it keeps a distance. It wants to keep distance for a certain reason. Maybe this person has something going on in his or in her life, and what is going on there? Maybe it has to do with the less financial means. This person wants to isolate himself, want to take some distance from everybody. It's like almost like the person want to be in confinement. If you are in some conflict with the government, because that is also sometimes what it represents here, government concerns or government legalities, it's also possible that this triggers your being want to be more on your alone. What it also can represent is a kind of loneliness. You feel alone, and the loneliness, it's weighing on your mind. It might be also that this whole situation is not, you don't feel good in this whole situation. It's nagging on you. It's like it's biting on you. You don't want to be, you don't want to be where you are now. It's like you have a feeling it's damaging yourself. You don't want to be there. You feel that it's like you lose your pride. You don't feel pride anymore. Like it's like the position that you are in before, it's going away, and you don't feel very happy about this position. In a positive way, if we see only these two cards, it means that you, but this is only for a month lane, but I'm just explaining to you, this can mean that it's a person who has a long course of life. So that's what it also means. But as I said, the person here, man or woman, he feels alone. You feel like you're facing a separation. It could mean that you have very high ambitions, but for some reasons you cannot fulfill these ambitions. Now it's impossible. It's impossible now. You want to grow higher up, but for some reason it's not possible now because the mice are here. It's like it's delayed. It's not forever because the end of the cards are positive. But for now, you're maybe facing some loneliness because everything is not going your way as you want it to be. Maybe you want to climb higher up, and for some reason it's not possible. You want to be the best in your field of love, in your field of work. You want to be in a leading position. You want to have some form of authority. Maybe you want to be an expert in your field. And it's possible, because we take this as a neutral card, that you are, if you are a man, that you are in a specific male job, or if you're a woman, you're in a specific female job. Like for instance, like if you're a woman, you're a nurse. That would be a specific female job. But what is happening here also is that with this period of distance, you will rise above it, because this is a temporary speed bump, and the sun is here, and the sun is shining all over this tableau, so it will not be for a long time. But for now, maybe you need this time of being alone, feeling a little bit lonely. Maybe on the long run, it will be it will serve its cause. But I think by the end of the month, if we see this on a monthly lane, it will be already more positive. There will come a positive outflow. So the next line that we see here is the fox and the sun. Here it says actually that if you have the opportunity of a job, you need to be self-centered. You need to think about yourself. I know it sounds selfish, but it's actually what it says here, because here you see the stars and you need to follow your calling, and you actually need to see the stars. You need to follow your ambitions, where you want to go. You want to job hunt here. If you don't have a job, you want to go for that success, because this is what it means here. In the future, there will come success for your work. If it's now on delay, it will come soon. If you focus on that, it will come. You will enjoy yourself. It might be selfish, but you will enjoy your course of life and where you need to go. You need to be self-centered for getting your ambitions out. That is what you need to do here. You need to take care of yourself. You need to put yourself in the center, bright. You need to shine. That is what this says here. If some people, because I want to immediately relate this, in your environment are not honest to you, you will notice it. You will have victory over their dishonesty, because the sun shines a bright light, and the stars are positive also. So if somebody is not treating you well or not giving you what you deserve, you will have victory over this deceit or over this dishonesty that is done to you. I want here immediately, because I'm thinking I want to immediately add it here, if you're working for a family business, because this is a normal, can be a family business, and somebody there in charge, maybe you work hard, because Capricorn is known for making long hours and very focused on the job. If you're making long hours, you need to think wisely if what you put in is going to come out. Maybe this person that is in charge is not giving you your honest share. So that is what you need to think about here also, if it's related to a family business, because I think somebody here in charge is not giving you what you deserve. I know maybe I know Capricorn is a patient sign, I'm aware of it, but you might consider if this is not on the long run. So what I would do, if you invest your efforts in that, make sure that is the case, that there are going to be changes on the long run. But it's gonna work all positive out, but just be careful that this is not a situation on the long run. One needs to be rewarded for the time we put in. If not on the short run, it needs to be on the long run. So make sure that this is included here. So we go here, the fox, the sun, and the stars. We already did this. Also, here for yourself, coming back to the second line here, you have like, you want to be happy also. You want to be happy in your job. You want that your job leads you to a very good position. Maybe you even want you want even to lead it to use like a celebrity. You want to be recognized in your job. You literally want to shine in the future in your job. Maybe it's important to you. For some people, it's very important they get recognized. So maybe this is the combination for you then. It's important for you as a person that you are recognized, that you are seen, that people see you actually as somebody who is between the stars in his field or in his line of work. Maybe this is you, if you recognize yourself in that position. In some cases also, it's like you feel, because the sun feels where she need to go for going there. It's like you have like a sixth sense, like a gut feeling that this is the path you need to follow. So if sometimes the sun can be selfish. So if this is your path to follow, you need to do it. You need to follow your own ego, your own self. So for getting there, sometimes we need to go our path alone. It's how it is. And sometimes if we cannot find the satisfaction in the family business, maybe we need to go our own path. So that is what is possible also. If we want to find our own fame, we need to do this. And also, I think you have sufficient confidence here for going that path. I think here there's enough confidence here for going your own path. That's what I'm thinking here. If things are not working out for you now and you don't want to stay in the position, so don't keep hanging there. So then in the third line, we see the house here, we see the tree and the garden. The house is the place where we work, as we saw here. It can relate to family, and the tree also. This is the place where we come from. So it's possible with some family members here, we have some family outing to come this month. It's like the whole family is going out in public. So now we are allowed from most governments in the world for going more out. So I think maybe this can represent like a family festivity. The whole family is there, and there's like a public festivity going on with the whole family. It might be something that is coming back every year, and maybe there's a traditional aspect to it, maybe a boring aspect to it, but this represents like the family barbecue. This also is like a deep connection to our roots. We feel very rooted in some parts of our family. We feel deeply connected to them. And also it's possible that we feel connected to a certain group of people that we are in. Maybe we feel connected to ambitious people. So we like to be in those people's surroundings, because this is the collective. And it's like we want to follow their tradition for getting there also. So that's another interpretation of this card. what is this here? So sometimes this can also mean that you are single already for a while. This can also mean this combination here. The tree and the garden, it means that you are available already for a while, that you maybe you have chosen to stay single, and it's already going on for a while already. If you're involved in theater or in it also might, this is like a show play, like something that happens on stage. If you are involved in some creative things, because the sun is here also, and here this is the night. So if you give performances at night, here is the public, maybe that's possible also, that you give some performances in the evening, because the stars makes a shine at night. So this is like a disco, like you get the stars are shining on your person here. It's possible also if you are involved in theater groups, that makes you feel good. There's some performance coming on here. The performance also is in a certain group, because this is the group of people. It's also possible that afterwards, with all these people, you will enjoy the nightlife, as we calmly going back to the nightlife. Maybe it's possible with these groups of people, you enjoy the night out. That is possible also. That is going on here in a certain group where you are environed. Maybe it's like I would say, because it's connected to here, maybe it's like a retro party, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, like you dress up in the old style, and you have a 60s party and the music is all 60s, 70s or 80s. It's something like that. If you go out with the group, it's possible that there are traditional meals served. Maybe meals that come from your parents, grandparents, something we don't cook every day anymore. So that is possible also, that is going on here. Also possible that there is here there is some alcohol consumption going on. There's some partying, there's some fun here, because the sun is fun. The sun is fun. So it's possible here. So also there's some partying going on here in this line. But everything will be very traditional. Everything will be work out fine. You will have fun because this is having fun. Then we go on the vertical here. The mice, the key of trust, the cross, I'm sorry. The mice, the sun, and the garden. So it's actually the same again. So this means that your person wants to have fun. If you come out of this period here that you want to be alone, it's possible for you to have fun. This is the period of fun that you can have here. So it's actually the same as I said earlier here. You are invited, you have fun. So it's actually the same. So summarizing here, if you're, for the moment, if you feel a little bit isolated for this month, just don't worry, just accept the time as it is. Sometimes we need some time alone to be ourselves. Maybe if you get allowance, there's less allowance. If this period of seclusion is past and you feel like going out, you will have a lot of fun. There's a lot of positive things. If you are hunting for a job, the result will be very positive and follow your ambitions. if you're involved in the family business, see that you get an honest pay. If not on the short run, see on the long run, if you want to put your ambitions in there. And if you are a member of some show or cabaret group, probably you will have an exhibition this month, because that is what appearing here also. So Capricorn, for the water group this month, that is all. I hope you enjoyed my card reading. If you did, please subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.